Look, stop acting like the lever gun belongs in a museum. You think you know the platform, but frankly, you have no idea what is coming. The SHOT Show in 2026 just proved that the tactical lever gun is not a fad anymore. It is a dominance hierarchy. We're looking at carbon fiber barrels and systems that run silent without gassing you out. Most guys are still sleeping on this, while the engineers are building Sub-MOA monsters. Listen, stop acting like it is 1899 and get your head in the game. Let's be real. Most of you hear Uberti and think of reenactors playing dress-up in the desert. But this rig is different. The Uberti 1873 Hunter is what happens when you take a legend and force it to survive in the modern world. Here's the deal. This rifle runs on a toggle link action. Unlike the rotating bolts you see on modern rifles, this system uses a mechanical knee that folds and locks. When you run this lever, it doesn't just click, it glides like a piston on a greased rail. The engineers used modern metallurgy to harden this ancient design, meaning it finally eats full-power 44 Magnum loads without blowing the receiver apart. It handles standard SAMI-spec hunting ammo just fine, which was unheard of for this action type in the past. I saw a guy at the range trying to run a vintage lever gun, squinting at those tiny buckhorn sights until his eyes watered. This rifle fixes that. Uberti slapped a barrel-mounted Picatinny rail forward of the receiver. This lets you run a long-eye relief scout scope or a red dot, solving the aging eye problem while keeping the ejection port clear. However, I have to call out the flaw. This thing weighs 7.6 pounds. That is heavy for a brush gun. And frankly, in 2026, the lack of a threaded barrel is a massive oversight. You were stuck with the boom. Stepping up the game, we are looking at the Winchester Ranger 22 LR. Honestly, the price of admission for a real Winchester has been insulting for years. This rifle is the answer. It is the gateway drug for the next generation of shooters. Under the hood, this rig runs on a precision-machined aluminum receiver. That choice does two things. First, it drops the price to something a working man can afford. Second, it cuts the carry weight down to a ridiculous 5.4 pounds. You can carry this thing all day and forget it is there. The barrel is a 20.25-inch button-riffled chromoly steel tube. That length squeezes every ounce of velocity out of the rimfire cartridge. Now, let's talk mechanics. The engineers built it with a single screw takedown system. You back out one screw and the weapon separates into two distinct halves. This allows you to stow it in a backpack or under a truck seat without burning space. The internal geometry is tuned for light operating forces. It cycles with a crisp, polite snap, perfect for younger shooters with less hand strength. I saw a father and son at the range. The kid was hammering targets with that 15-round tube mag and never got tired. But here is the deal breaker. It is aluminum. I know the hard anodized finish is durable, but to a purist, it feels cold. It lacks the heft and soul of blue steel. If you're looking for an heirloom to pass down, this might feel a little too disposable. Stepping up the game, we have the Rossi R95 Triple Black. Look, for years, Rossi was the brand you bought when you couldn't afford the big dogs. But this rifle changes the conversation. It is the pragmatic choice for the hunter who views their rifle as a tool, not a trophy. Here is the raw truth. This rig feeds on 30-30 Winchester. The receiver and barrel are coated in black Cerakote over alloy steel. This matters because it gives you the corrosion resistance of stainless steel without the reflective glare that spooks game. Now, let's talk about the mechanics. Unlike competitors that force you to buy expensive aftermarket parts, this rifle features a peep sight integrated directly onto a Picatinny rail. This design is brilliant. It gives you immediate, rugged iron sights for brushwork, but leaves the platform completely optics-ready for a red dot or scope. It kicks like a firm handshake from a disgruntled lumberjack, manageable, but you know it is there. The paracord-wrapped large loop lever is standard. It cushions your knuckles during rapid fire and gives you emergency cordage if things go sideways in the field. However, I have to call out the cut corners. The stock looks synthetic, but it is actually wood core painted with a black textured finish. It mimics the rigidity of wood, but if you chip that paint, you're exposing organic material to the elements. It feels a bit like wearing a tuxedo t-shirt. This is a solid rig for the money, but wait until you see the absolute monster sitting at number 1. Now we get serious, stepping up the game with the Smith & Wesson Model 1854 Stealth Hunter. Smith & Wesson re-entered the arena in 2024, but this year they expanded the line to include the absolute king of the woods, the 30-30 Winchester. I know the purists are already typing their hate comments. Smith & Wesson makes revolvers, not rifles. Sound off below if you trust this rig over a classic Marlin. I want to see the fight in the comments. Let's look under the hood. The receiver is built from 416 stainless steel, but you wouldn't know it because it is coated in a proprietary Armornite finish. This isn't just paint, it is a nitrite treatment that hardens the surface of the steel. This reduces the friction coefficients of the bolt travel, making the action feel slicker than a wet seal on ice. It feeds on 30-30 shells with a smoothness that makes other actions feel gritty. The 16.3-inch barrel comes threaded 5/8 by 24, which is the industry standard for suppression. S&W also integrated M-lock slots at the 3, 6, and 9 o'clock positions on the forend. This is critical. It allows you to mount a weapon light for hog hunting without duct tape or hose clamps. But here is the annoyance. The furniture is black synthetic polymer. It is dimensionally stable and won't warp in the rain, but let's be real, it feels hollow. When you tap it, it sounds like a Tupperware container. For a rifle that costs $1,499, I expect something that feels a little less like a toy. Entering the elite tier, we find the Marlin Trapper series Model 1894. Since Ruger took the reins, the quality control issues of the past are dead and buried. This is the 10mm auto powerhouse that we have been waiting for. Here's the logic. Slings 10mm projectiles downrange with a fury that pistol shooters can only dream of. The 16.17-inch cold hammer forged barrel allows slower burning powders to achieve complete combustion. This generates velocity increases of 200 to 250 feet per second over a handgun. It hits with the authority of a sledgehammer, delivering energy comparable to a .35-7 Magnum. Now, pay attention to the engineering. Cycling a rimless case like the 10mm in a lever gun is usually a nightmare.
but Ruger engineers implemented a robust control feed system. Under the hood, they installed an E-nickel Teflon-plated sear. This eliminates the infamous Marlin flop, that sloppy play in the trigger, and replaces it with a brake that snaps like a glass rod. Visually, the stainless steel with a satin finish paired with a black laminate stock is striking. It is built to survive a monsoon. The 10-round tubular magazine gives you serious firepower for a carbine. But here's the annoyance. They threaded the muzzle 5/8 by 24. While that's great for rifle suppressors, most 10mm pistol cans use different thread pitches. If you already own a 10mm suppressor, you might need a new adapter. This is a formidable tool, but wait until you see the absolute monster at number 1.
Closer to the crown, we encounter the most disruptive piece of engineering on the floor, the Bond Arms LVRB. This is not just another lever gun, it's a hybrid mechanism that forces the ergonomics of a lever action to breed with the modularity of an AR-15. Here's the deal. This rifle feeds on 223 Wild, which means it safely runs both 223 Remington and 5.56 NATO without breaking a sweat. But the real magic is in the magazine well. It eats from standard 30-round AR-15 magazines. I know what you're thinking. Lever guns jam with double-stack mags. Not this one. The engineers developed a proprietary cam-driven short-throw action. Instead of a simple pivot, this linkage accelerates the bolt carrier group rearward relative to the lever's movement. This creates a mechanical advantage that overcomes the friction of stripping rounds from a fully loaded mag. The result is a cycle that feels mechanical and precise, like racking the slide on a high-end race gun. I saw a guy in a restricted state pick this up. His eyes lit up because it's a legal loophole that still offers high capacity. It lacks a gas system, so there's no port pop near your ear, making it an exceptional host for suppression. However, here's the deal breaker. This system is complex. You have a lot of moving parts in that linkage. If that proprietary cam goes down in the field, you're not fixing it with a pocket knife. You're done. Plus, the estimated MSRP of $1,599 puts it right up there with premium semi-autos.
We have arrived at the summit. The Henry SPD Predator is not just a lever gun. It is a statement that the lever gun has finally eclipsed the bolt action in the Predator woods. This is the flagship of Henry's new Special Products division, and it stands alone at the top of the food chain. Here is the raw truth. This rifle eats 5.56 NATO and spits it out with a precision we have never seen in this platform. The secret lies in the BSF carbon fiber tension barrel. Listen closely because this matters. Unlike cheap carbon-wrapped barrels that just trap heat, this system uses a jacketed approach with an air gap between the carbon sleeve and the 416R stainless steel core. This allows air to circulate and cool the liner via convection, while the tension reduces barrel whip to almost zero. The result? Henry offers a 3-shot Sub-MOA guarantee. I saw a professional caller drop a coyote at 300 yards with this rig, and the bullet went exactly where the crosshairs settled. The rifle features a 1-in-8 twist rate, stabilizing heavy 77-grain projectiles that buck the wind like a freight train. Ergonomics are built for the sniper, not the cowboy. It sports a vertical pistol grip and an adjustable cheek rest on a gray laminate stock, mimicking the feel of a chassis rifle. And yes, it feeds from MSR pattern detachable magazines. You can reload this thing faster than you can blink. But here's the damage to your wallet. The MSRP is $2,510. That's a serious pile of cash for a lever gun. You're paying for that Sub-MOA promise, but it hurts to sign that check.
The SHOT Show in 2026 has made one thing painfully clear. The era of the grandpa gun is dead. We are witnessing the year of the clone, but amidst the copycats, true innovation has survived. From the budget-friendly Winchester Ranger that brings new blood into the fold, to the cam-driven complexity of the Bond Arms LVRB, the market has evolved. The suppressor-ready threaded barrel is no longer a luxury, it is the standard. Whether you are hunting hogs in the brush or ringing steel at distance, there is no longer an excuse to ignore the lever action. Keep your powder dry and your aim true.